lucky flower? Well, there is a flower that grows all over North America in the wetlands, and it's considered a lucky flower. It just oozes positive energy, and it's said to ward off negative energy and to give you good luck. What in the world is this flower, and where in the world am I? So today I want to take a look at a flower that has many names. One of them is duck potato, swan potato, Indian onion, but its real name is broadleaf arrowhead, or common arrowhead, or just arrowhead. Hi, I'm the Iowa Prairie Girl, and today I am at the White Wildlife Area, just north of Rock Falls, Iowa, in Sarasota County. It is the middle of July. It is about 85 degrees out here, but it is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see behind me, I came down a kind of a trail. It looks like somebody came through here in a four-wheeler. I don't think they were supposed to, but they kind of made a trail, and it's been a dry season here, but I did have to come through some muck, and I've already lost my shoes. If you've ever gone through muck or gotten out of a canoe or someplace where it was really muddy, you know what I mean. I am doing the old Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn barefoot thing through this marsh here, but I am having the time of my life. We're going to look at arrowhead today, but just to tell you what other flowers I'm seeing here at the White Wildlife Area in July. Swamp milkweed, Joe Pyeweed is starting to bloom. There's boneset. There's a couple different of really good loosestrifes, not the bad loosestrife, the good kind. Winged and some yellow loosestrife. I've seen a marsh bellflower, which I haven't seen one of those in years. Cattails, dark green bulrushes, just a gorgeous day. So stick with me. We're going to take a look at arrowhead, which is considered that lucky flower. Let's start by looking at the leaf. So you can see this is the arrowhead leaf. You can see where the name comes from. This plant here is not in standing water. I've read that if a plant is in standing water, the leaves will be narrower, and if it is not in water, which this isn't, more like muck, the leaves will be broader. So the leaves can get up to be 4 to 14 inches long and 3 to 10 inches wide across. This shape is called sagittate, which is a Latin word for arrow, or pertaining to an arrow. The edges are real smooth. You can see there's no tooth. They're just a real smooth margins. And both sides are a little bit, it's a nice soft leaf. There's just some really fine hairs on it. It has a long petiole. That petiole can get to be about a foot long. Interesting about the petiole, it does have a flat side to it, but then the rest of it is kind of curved. So that's kind of an interesting point about this leaf. I don't know if I remember if I pointed out the veins. It's very veined, both the front and the back. It's kind of a light green color. So they can grow into colonies. I'm here sitting amongst a colony of arrowheads, and there are arrowhead leaves just popping up everywhere. It is a basal leaf, meaning that it comes from the base of the plant, but again, it has a very long petiole, so they stick up a good foot off of the ground. One of the very interesting things about arrowhead is that the flowers, it has two different types of flowers. It has a female flower and it has a male flower. And this flower that I have right in front of me here is the female flower. So every flower has three white petals, and they kind of have an indentation on them. The flower itself is about 1 inch wide. And then the female flower has this light green center to it, and that center is called a carpel, C-A-R-P-E-L, carpel, and that is the female reproductive part of the flower. So this carpel contains the style, the ovary, and you guys remember it? The style and the stigma. So this is the whole female part of the flower. This is the female flower. So some plants or some stems will contain either both the male or the female flower on the same stem. Some stems will just have the female flowers, and some stems will just have the male flowers. If you have a flower that has both sexes on it, the male flowers will be on the top and the female flowers will be on the bottom. The female flowers are larger than the male flowers. So I said it has 3 petals, and then it has 3, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. You can see it's already developed some seeds here. It also has 3 sepals in the back, and they're very, very small, light green sepals. And they just basically, unlike other flowers, they just kind of fade away and fall off. Okay, so I went down the path just a little bit to find us a male flower. You can see the difference here. This is the male flower. Again, the 3 white petals. And then the little sepals in the back. Maybe you can get a better view of that there. And then the center, you can tell, is completely different here. Instead of the green disc in the middle, we have multiple bright yellow stamens. So this is the male flower of the arrowhead. This is one stem here, and normally the flowers, there's the terminal flowers here, or the top flowers, and they'll bloom in a whorl. You can see that these are the seed heads, where you can see that it's already developed a seed head, but you can tell, if you use your imagination, that there was a whorl of about 3 to 9 flowers at the top here, and then as you go down the flower, you have flowers in whorls, and that this whorl is just 3 flowers were blooming here. And then also there's these things called brackets here that I read about that are just part of the flower here, and they're real fragile little brackets here at the axil of where the petiole of the flower. So the flower itself also has quite a long petiole where it comes off the stem and then blooms at the end of that petiole. So like I mentioned, it is July. Arrowhead bloom from about July through September. A colony itself will bloom for about a month's period. So you can tell I kind of missed some of the prime time of this colony here, and I'm just catching the end of the flowers here at the White Wildlife area here in Sherrigorda County. The plant will grow to be about 1 to 4 feet tall, and it will grow into colonies. Now let's talk about some of the names. I mentioned duck potato and swan potato. This plant has a tuber that is similar to a potato, and they call it duck potato, and no one's really quite sure if the ducks actually dive down to get the tuber. But it is quite certain that they do eat the seeds that fall off into the water, and that the ducks eat the seeds of the arrowhead. Other animals eat the tubers significantly. Beavers, porcupines, otters, they all eat the tubers of the arrowhead. It's often said, I don't know if it's true or not, but legend is that the Indians would, if food was scarce, they would raid the beavers' houses for tubers that the beavers had saved up in their beaver homes. So this plant was a very basic necessity for Native Americans. The tuber grows in the water, and just by rooting it up with your foot or your hand, it will float up to the top. And the Native Americans used it just like you would a potato. They say that it tastes kind of like a chestnut, but you could bake it, roast it, mash it, dry it. You could candy it. I read that you could put maple syrup on it and eat it like a candied potato. And then also it could be dried and used as flour. So it was a very common food for the Native Americans to eat, and also to store, to use to eat during the wintertime. So I've given you some funny names for this plant. There's some other names too. There's a name called wabato, which I think is a term for potato. There's thought that maybe the Wapsian River or the Wapsi Trail that we have here in northeastern Iowa, might be named after this flower because it was abundant in the river at that time. Another name is Katniss, which is a Greek name for an aquatic plant. And then I mentioned the shape of the leaf, which is Sagittarian, which is a Latin word for pertaining to or looking like an arrowhead. So those are some other names for this lucky plant. And don't forget, we're going to get back to why this plant is lucky. So arrowhead multiply either by the bulb or the tuber that I described. It will multiply just like your tulips or your irises. Or it also drops the seeds into the water or into the muck, and then you'll replant the plant that way. So they do grow. They will grow in colonies. As you see here, I have several plants in front of me, some beautiful arrowhead leaves. So let's talk about, why is this lucky? Why is it lucky to see an arrowhead? Why is it lucky to carry a flower with you? So the leaf itself, obviously, if you look at it, again, looks like an arrow, and it symbolizes courage, strength, protection, bravery, victory, success. So it's all, the arrowhead is a symbol for all those wonderful things. It also says that if you see an arrowhead, it just brings you peace. And I would have to agree with that. Arrowhead is one of my favorite water or aquatic wildflowers. So if you dream about an arrowhead, if you dream about an arrowhead plant, that symbolizes that you have a need for courage or a need for strength to overcome obstacles. Also, if you dream about an arrowhead plant, it might symbolize a desire for adventure or for exploration. The dream might also be urging you to take risks or to go exploring. So not only is this a lucky plant, but it also is a plant that brings you bravery, brings you courage, and just gives you the urge to get out there and to explore. It also is a symbol for direction and for balance in your life. So you can see all the great things that this plant represents. All right, well, I'm the Iowa Prairie Girl. I am really, truly in the muck. I hope that you can get out and find some arrowhead. Now, you don't necessarily have to go and get all dirty and mucky like me. You can find arrowhead along a stream when you're out canoeing, or maybe if you're on a pond or a lake when you're fishing. But I just hope that you get out and that you see nature, that you experience arrowhead, that perhaps it brings you the peace or the joy that it brings me. And I hope that while you're out there, you see something wonderful. Thanks, this is the Iowa Prairie Girl. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.